Hey guys, welcome to my new movie review for the incredibly hilarious horror movie Cabin in the Woods. And I know you're going to be like, wait, what? How can a horror movie be funny? You have no idea. You have absolutely no idea. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about straight off is a bit of trivia about this movie because I found it really interesting. Josh Whedon, Joss Whedon stated that him and the other writer of this movie deliberately actually made the opening sequences of this movie not look like a horror movie at all, look like a kind of like a teen movie sort of thing in a weird way. Because if people were late to the movie into the session, they would have thought that they were in the wrong cinema. And I tell you now what, guys, for real, they nailed that element of this movie. This movie doesn't even start as a horror movie. Like, I don't even know how you would start a movie like this, but this does not start at all how you'd expect it to start. Holy moly. Oh my gosh. This movie is so brilliant. So I actually found out about this movie from a guy that I used to work with. And he said, he went to the cinemas and saw it and he was like, man, I've never laughed and been scared in the same moment so hard in my life. I'm like, what? What does that even mean? What are you talking about? And then I saw it. Oh my gosh. Wow. Serious. Now, when I was watching this last night, I was actually thinking to myself, this is actually one of those movies that's really difficult not to spoil. When you watch it, you'll know why. You will totally understand why. This is a horror, and it's funny because on IMDb, I actually was really surprised that it didn't say that it's a horror comedy. Because, man, there's some funny moments in this movie. Oh my gosh, there are some serious funny movement. Oh man. 1 minute you are absolutely freaking out because of the thing that's happening in front of you, and the next minute you're literally just bursting out laughter. Like, oh, so good. So this movie actually came out in 2011. It is a MA15 plus, and it goes for an hour and 35 minutes. And I tell you now, an hour and 35 minutes, it doesn't even feel like an hour and 35 minutes. When this movie was over, I literally was like, oh wow, that's it? Oh, far out. I wanted more. I wanted more. And that's exactly what you want from a film. 100%. If you are asking for more when a film finishes, they have done their job. Completely. Totally. Thoroughly. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. That is what you want from a film. It is so good. So the director of this film, guys, is Drew, I think you say his name, Goddard. I think that's how you say his last name. Anyway, Drew Goddard is the director of this film. And then the cast of this film is Kristen Connolly, Chris Hemsworth, Anne Hutchinson, Fran Kranz. I think that's a funny last name, Fran Kranz. Anyway, Richard Jenkins, Bradley Whiteford, and Brian White. And what a cast. Oh my gosh. Far out. This movie is beyond brilliant. It really is. This movie is absolutely beyond brilliant, guys. It genuinely is. It's one of those movies that you watch and it almost has everything to it that you want in a movie like this. Now, in the trivia, I found it really awesome that Joss Whedon actually wrote the script for this in 3 days. That's impressive. That is so impressive, guys. If you know anything about movie making or anything like that, to write a script for something that this awesome, 3 days, that's gold. That's pure gold. One of the things that I loved about this movie so much is the actor Fran Kranz, who plays Marty. Man, I got to tell you a piece of trivia about this movie, guys, about him in this in this movie, that you will be like, no way, no way. That is, I genuinely didn't believe it, but apparently it's legit. So, guys, in the actual movie, this is a bit of trivia for you. In the lake scene, the only student not to jump in the water is actually Marty, who actually remained fully clothed on the dock. This was actually due to Frank Kranz notably being in as good, if not better, shape than the other students in the water. In the commentary for the film, the writers actually joked that he was ripped like muscular Jesus, which is so classic. That they assert that if Marty was to be shown as being that fit, that would actually take away from the dynamic of his character. It's actually also why Marty actually wears looser fitting clothes than any of the other characters in this movie. When you see that part of the movie, you're completely, like, when you see him in this movie, you like totally understand why that decision was, why it was that decision. And after seeing that, I was like, nah, I get it now completely. I was man, I was so like, I was blown away by that. That was really, yeah, it really motivated me actually. I was like, man, I need to do some more sit-ups. This is another cool piece of trivia, guys. When Jules actually kisses the wolf head in the movie, the wolf head has actually a sugar-coated powdered sugar-coated tongue. So it actually was a nice little taste to it instead of being a plastic animal. So that was a nice touch from the directors. So she wasn't actually kissing a live dog's fake head. So when Marty's character rocks up, he's like rocking up like full-fledged stoner character. So funny. And he's like cruising down in this speed up old station wagon, what it looks like, and like smoke pouring out of the car, and they walk up to the car and like, dude, what are you doing? You trying to get arrested? Trying to spend the weekend in lockup? Anyway, he gets out of the car and he's got this giant, huge, really tall, long thermal cup that is a bong. And apparently that thing cost $5,000 to make, and it is completely functional. That's great. That's just clever. That really is clever. That's pretty smart. I guarantee they sold it off as well, unless Marty's still got it, or Fran's got it. So guys, as I said, without spoiling anything about this movie, one thing I want to tell you about this movie is the fact of the horror elements. Now, I just want to let you know now, in my opinion personally, it wasn't that scary, in my opinion. But I can completely 100% understand totally how someone would be scared. Because maybe because of the fact that I've already seen it, it wasn't that scary to me. But I totally 100% understand if someone was to watch something like this, how you get completely freaked out because of how brilliant the horror elements are. And I tell you now, when you see this film and you understand the backstory, because the story behind it is genius, and the way it ended, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. In fact, I had a random dream about the ending of it last night. It was so good. But guys, truly, if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, do yourselves a favor and check it out, because it is brilliant. As I said, the horror elements are completely legit, completely. Guys, thank you so much for watching this movie review. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Have you seen Cabin in the Woods? Please leave your comments in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate your feedback. And if there's any other movies that you'd like reviewed, please let me know in the comments as well. I'd really appreciate that. Love to watch them and give you my thoughts on what I think about the movies. I really value that. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be dropping the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino, because that literally isn't dropping in Australia until tomorrow, like over a month late. I'm so annoyed about that, but that's another story altogether. If you have, please subscribe. Please click the bell for notifications, and anything I drop you'll get straight away. And if you like this movie review, please leave a like, and if you didn't, tell me why you didn't. I'd really appreciate your feedback. That'd be great. Until my next review, please take care of yourselves and one another. See you then.